So, David, you want to hear my very terrible British accent?
I think I do.
Let me get into it. Ayo, David, what book are we reading today?
Legion of Monsters Incorporated. We scare because we care.
Hello, humans and non-humans of podcast land, and welcome to Sharing Comics Club, the club where you share comics with your friends. I'm Brooke.
And I'm David.
And David, what are we reading today?
We're doing the Legion of Monsters.
We scare because we care.
Everyone's favorite Marvel team?
Question mark?
I mean, they gotta be in the MCU sooner or later.
We'll get them one day.
Yep. Anyways, written by Dennis Hopeless with art by Juan Doe. I tried to find info about this series, and I couldn't find that much.
They're hidden, like the city.
Yes. So underneath the New York City of the Marvel Universe, the sewers are full of mutants called Morlocks, and under that, there's a city full of monsters, and it's all Monsters, Inc. down there. And now, Brooke, you may be wondering about Deadpool's monster wife, Shikla, from the Spider-Man and Deadpool books, right?
Yeah.
And how she's supposed to be the queen of this, and, like, she's not in this book, right?
Right. Wait, isn't Deadpool the king of monsters?
Yeah. She wasn't invented yet.
Oh, okay. That makes sense now.
So, that's why she's not in this book.
I was wondering. I was going to ask you that, but you already took the words out of my mouth.
So, the protectors of Monster Metropolis are the Legion of Monsters. But first, we start out in the village of Chipperfield, Hertfordshire, England.
Oh, that's such a fun name to say. I love English town names.
I can see why they chose it. So, there's a monster killing teenagers in Chipperfield.
As they do.
As it does. And it manages to crash through the house of one Elsa Bloodstone, who is unfazed by this giant Sasquatch with, oh god, that's a lot of teeth. That is too much teeth.
That's a big dental plan.
Yeah, hate to be his dentist.
Also, I have a question for you. Is Elsa Bloodstone related to anybody, or is she her own person?
Elsa Bloodstone is the daughter of this monster hunter named Ulysses Bloodstone. Now, Ulysses Bloodstone is basically the Van Helsing of the Marvel Universe. And like himself, also Ulysses has the Bloodstone embedded in his chest. His whole origin is crazy, like he was a caveman, and then he's like, the Bloodstone made him immortal, and then in the 50s, 60s actually, he was like a big game hunter, but for monsters.
Right.
And anyways, Elsa also has like a piece of the Bloodstone in her choker, and it gives her like Captain America type powers. Like she's stronger, faster, more durable, but like she's not like Flash fast.
So she just has like an advantage when she, like, if you think about it, has an advantage when she's fighting monsters with that like extra. It's like when you play in D&D and you have like an extra like plus whatever on your like athletics or agility.
Yeah, she's like Captain America in that she's not like crazy strong like Hulk. She's just like stronger. So she's like peak human teenage girl condition.
Okay.
Also, as she pulls on the monster, she knows how to kill shit. She pulls out 2 guns and starts blasting away, and then the monster runs off, and she's like, instead of Elsa Bloodstone Monster Hunter, she's all Elsa Bloodstone Monster Chaser is more like it. And more on her in a bit. And then we go to Monster Metropolis, buried under New York City. And we meet the leader of the Legion of Monsters, Dr. Michael Morbius, who is a science vampire and Spider-Man villain. And
did I ever meet Dr. Morbius, or this is more comic book villains so far?
I believe I've mentioned him, but you might be knowing Morbius sooner than you think because he's got a movie coming out from Sony.
Ooh, okay. Well, I guess I will wait around and find out, I guess.
Starring, I think, Jared Leto.
I'm not a Jared Leto fan, but cool.
But
We here at Sharon Comics Club are not Jared Leto fans.
So Morbius, the living vampire, is meeting with this creature from the Black Lagoon looking dude named Amphibian, who was actually an alien.
Wait, so he's not from the lagoon?
I mean, he kind of is. He lives in the lagoon, so he hangs out. Is
The
Superman
lagoon.
from Kansas?
Okay, he was raised in Kansas.
I don't know if Amphibian was raised in a lagoon.
The lagoon.
Anyways, so the vampire and the swamp monster are late to meet the werewolf and the living mummy, and that's actually his name, the living mummy, as
What a
opposed
boring
to
name.
every other mummy.
Dead.
And the werewolf, his book was called Werewolf by Night.
That's so unoriginal. Whoa. Whoa.
You'll like his name, Jack Russell.
Like the dog.
Like the dog. So tonight on Cops Monster Metropolis, we got Encantu, the living mummy, and Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night, going to arrest this Rorschach-looking dude named Joshua Farkas, the Dimensional Man. I also want to mention Werewolf by Night. He actually is like the son of like a rich guy from California.
Fancy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in his book, he was very much like a pretty boy.
I got that vibe when I read this comic. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know who you are, but you seem like someone I would probably hate if I read about you.
But we might probably see Werewolf by Night in the Moon Knight show on Disney Plus because Moon Knight debuted in Werewolf's book.
Stay tuned, everybody. We may find out.
So yeah, without no werewolf, there is no Moon Knight.
You'd think it would be the other way around.
Yeah. Also, I was looking up Dimensional Man because like I have this book of him, but I never really looked up his other stuff. Right. Apparently, the Dimensional Man debuted in Marvel's Tomb of Dracula comic. And it's hilarious because I called him a Rorschach looking dude. His picture on the Marvel Wiki, he's dressed in a trench coat, so he looks even more like Rorschach.
It's like, I wonder where they got that from.
Yeah.
I'm on to you.
Actually, Rorschach is based off of this DC character called The Question, who's a detective, but he's got no face, as opposed to black and white face.
Or Two-Face.
Or Two-Face. But anyways, the Dimensional Man has apparently been leeching life force off of other monsters, and you can see why the Legion of Monsters would have a problem with that, and they ask him to open the door. Dimensional Man says that the door is the only thing keeping them from looking like a bunch of clowns. So Werewolf busts down the door, and the Dimensional Man mops the floor with him.
Like a whole circus.
Yep. Sucks the life right out of him, and Mummy's only got so much life force to spare.
Me too.
Same. I mean, Mummy's just skin and bones, so you can see why I identify with him.
I gotcha. I identify with the werewolf because I am angry at night. I don't know.
And you identify with the werewolf because you like dogs.
Yeah. I like dogs. So much so that I will cry when one is sitting on my lap. Has happened. David can confirm.
Yes, can confirm. So anyway, thankfully, Amphibian and Morbius are there, and by the way, I should mention, that's Morbius, not Mobius from Loki.
You know, I was going to ask you that, if they're the same person.
No, not at all.
Just because I like the Loki hype is happening right now and all that jazz, so I'm glad to distinguish the two.
One is a time traveler, played by Lightning McQueen. The other is a science vampire that fights Spider-Man.
Played by Lightning McQueen. Just kidding.
I should also mention, clarify what I mean by science vampire. Around the time Morbius was created, they had this thing called the Comics Code Authority, and it was basically like a group on what you could and couldn't use in comics. So they for a while, they actually banned horror stuff in comics.
Why?
Because of the children. Won't someone think of the children?
I keep forgetting about children. F them kids.
But yeah, so once the Comics Code lifted the horror ban, they were like, oh, we could use stuff. Let's use Dracula. Let's wait on Dracula. Let's test the waters. Basically, they came up with this guy, Dr. Michael Morbius, who was caught in a lab accident, gained chalk white skin, gruesome fangs, could fly, and had a lust for blood. But he wasn't dead.
Totally not a vampire.
Yeah, because the ban was on, like, you cannot have the undead in comics.
That's a dumb rule.
It was so dumb. I do wonder what happened to Deadman, though, if he qualifies. I'm not undead, I'm just a ghost, I'm just dead.
I'm just dead, not dead, dead. Shut up.
I'm Dead Man, it's in the name.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about it.
Anyways, back on track. Morbius and Manphibian save the day, and Manphibian holds Dimensional Man with some kind of tractor beam trident that should totally come with his action figure.
Did it?
I don't think they even made an action figure of him.
Oh, my bad. Sorry to disappoint anybody who wanted to know if there was one.
While Morbius uses his totally legally not Ghostbuster trap to suck up the Dimensional Man.
Who are you gonna call?
Morbius! Wait a minute, that says Fenton Works on the side!
Shush.
That's
Shush,
the
they don't know
Fenton
what's
Weasel!
missing. They don't know what's missing. Shut up. Shush. We stole it. I mean, we didn't steal it. We borrowed it.
It's just like Ron Stoppable said, secret borrowing!
Secret borrowing.
Now, what's funny was when I first read this, I thought that Elsa just lived in the New York area, like everyone else in the Marvel Universe. But
Nope,
as previously... Sorry.
Nope, she's in London.
Yeah, as previously stated, she was nearby London and chased the monster through a portal that led her to Monster Metropolis. And by riding her motorcycle through the portal, it caused it to short out all of Monster Metropolis's power, just as Morbius tries to put Dimensional Man into like a little containment cell. So Manphibian gets Morbius, and Elsa is in the town square, standing over the monster she was chasing, brandishing her gun, and confronted by Werewolf and Mummy. And it's not a good thing for the daughter of a monster hunter to be in the middle of Monster Metropolis, in case you couldn't tell.
It's like when you put meat in front of like meat down with like wolves, and you just have a meat suit, and you're like, "Hey, what's up, fam? Let me just walk through."
But which is the meat and which are the wolves in this scenario? I mean, obviously werewolf, but the metaphor's getting muddled.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, I don't know. Actually, no, I don't know, because she has like a little upgraded like strength. So.
Plus, she's also crazy good at killing things.
And she has guns.
She has
not
guns.
afraid to use them.
You got that right. And she's this close to going all old Yeller on Werewolf when Morbius and Manny show up. They call Manphibian Manny, so I'm going to call him Manny too.
Got it.
And Morbius confirms that the monster is dead, so they cuff Elsa. And while Elsa is cuffed, Mummy, Manphibian, and Werewolf are arresting monster after monster, all acting like mindless monsters. Meanwhile, Morbius is taking a chainsaw to the monster corpse that came with Elsa and finds that its brain has been reduced to black goo. This is why we put the brain in a Tupperware so it doesn't go bad.
This is why we wear gloves when we dissect things. It is gross.
As he does. And no, it's not Venom.
Different comic. Different story. Maybe one day.
Same universe. And in fact, I'm pretty sure Morbius and Venom... Actually, no, I know Morbius and Venom have met.
What was that like?
Very weird. Both times.
It seems... They met twice?
Yeah. At least. That I know of.
That is weird.
It could be more. They could... To be fair, they're both Spider-Man villains turned anti-heroes.
They're bound to have like a book club or something.
Yeah. I'm surprised Venom doesn't just hang out at the Legion at under Monster Metropolis and going like, "Hey, I got teeth, I got tongues, I fit in, or we fit in."
Yeah, they have like a I am a monster button when they come down.
Yeah. They come down here for vacation. They got like I Heart Monster Metropolis.
Yeah, like
Got the camera.
like going to Disney, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah, couples vacation. Eddie and Venom.
Eddie and Venom.
Anyways, Morbius rejoins the others and he uncuffs Elsa. And Werewolf is all, she shot that monster. And Morbius points out, yes, she shot it, but her bullets didn't kill it or were responsible for turning its brain to black goo. Elsa and Morbius point out that something or someone is turning these monsters into mindless killing machines. And Elsa is about to leave when Morbius stops her. Morbius tells her that he has seen this darkest magic before and that he needs her help. She says, "What you lot have is a monster problem and you won't like how I solve monster problems."
That was beautiful.
This is beautiful, butchering the British accent.
We here at Sharing Comics Club are only trying to do an accent that is terrible, so please do not take it to any offense because we know it is terrible and we are just having fun.
For future reference, we butcher all accents equally.
Even our own.
You got that right. Anyways, Morbius also points out that there are 4,000 monsters in the tunnels, and if she doesn't help them, then she'd have to deal with an army of belligerent, brain-dead beasties. What he should do is find an ancient Egyptian artifact and see if he can imprison all of these monsters into a children's card game. Or transforming magnetic marbles.
I just got that. Wow.
Or maybe tops that you need a ripcord to spin.
And say, let it rip, you know.
These totally original ideas. No one has ever done this before.
Yeah, I've never heard of these before. What are you talking about? Someone should get someone on the phone.
And then they can all be used by anime kids with insane, illogical haircuts.
Oh, and maybe like some of them could be in battles with 10-year-olds as they go adventure without their parents.
And then go into the digital world. What's funny enough, I think there was like a Marvel type show like that called Marvel Disc Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it. I think it's on Disney Plus. I don't know.
I will find that out. The answer will come at a random time in this podcast, but we'll find out, ladies and gentlemen. What was the name of it?
Marvel Disc Wars.
Disc Wars. Got it.
And while we're on the subject, I thought it was weird because the discs don't look like discs. They look like little triangles, and it irks me to no end. Anyway, Elsa asks Morbius, "What do you want me to do?" And he then goes, "You're a hunter, so hunt. Hunt down whatever is turning these monsters." And then they see a giant bird monster, and she's all like, "What is that?" And then Morbius goes, "I believe that is a kindergarten teacher." And then she goes, "Fine, I'm in."
Going back to our question of if it's on Disney Plus, it is not on Disney Plus. Sorry to disappoint.
Okay, then. So, most of our heroes are subduing a kaiju-sized lava monster, and meanwhile, Morbius is walking past all of these monsters they have tied up to tables. And Dimensional Man, who is stuck in a pipe, asks Morbius if he can get out of the pipe. And Morbius is all, "You're locked up, and I'm a little bit busy dealing with an infection that is eating our brains, turning us all mindless and violent, so you can understand how little I care about your situation right now." And I'm like, okay, maybe he needs to switch to decaf.
Maybe you should stop drinking so late.
He needs to stop drinking. He needs to get decaf blood. Then Elsa and the others walk in, and Dimensional Man makes some very rude comments about eyeing up her cleavage, and she then shoots the pipe. I don't know how he's able to see through the pipe or how the bullet doesn't free him, but I digress. Morbius tells her that she's wasting time apprehending infected monsters and that she needs to search outside the city. and that he has a list of occult characters on her desk. Elsa asks what the hell he's holding. And it's just a reanimated cow heart, as you do.
As you know, just go to the market, get a cow heart, you know.
She says that she thinks it's a plague, and Morbius says, I told you, I've seen this before. And Elsa leaves, and on her way out, she says, funny how you never tell the rest of that story. And Morbius takes a bite out of his cow heart like an apple. Yeah, gross.
Very gross, but you know, gotta feed somehow.
Yeah. He actually does try to subsist on synthetic formulas most of the time, so he tries.
He tries. All right, I'll give him that, I guess.
So while Morbius stays home, Elsa and the Legion leave and hop on their sweet motorcycles, and Elsa admits she wasn't prepared for a werewolf to be so pretty.
I wasn't either.
And as previously stated, he was the son of a California rich guy, so, you know.
Of course he has to be a pretty boy.
Morbius then has a flashback to the last time he saw the infection, and he met this hot lady named Susanna to help them out. It didn't work. Susanna dies. Everyone dies. And Morbius screaming, no, there's still time! So, not a happy memory for him.
No. What are you talking about? That seems like the happiest day of his life.
Oh yeah, it's just sunshine and rainbows and then death. Death. Oh god, so much death. They're dead, Dave. Everybody's dead, Dave.
Dead Dave, oh no.
Anyway, so after Morbius has that very sad memory, Amphibian and Living Mummy go to meet one of their contacts. And the contact is mad because they showed up at 7 a.m. looking like the Groovy Ghoulies at his normal human apartment. And they're like, this is just how we look. And then we reveal they're meeting Damien Hellstrom, aka Hellstorm, the son of Satan, who has a show on Hulu.
He also looks in the comics like Jack Russell, so I got very confused.
Yes, I had to point that out to her. They look very similar.
Yeah, so if this would be your first time reading this comic, they do look similar. They are different people. Don't mistake them for the same person, because I did, and it was very confusing.
The easy tell? Hellstorm has the pentagram on his chest, and Jack doesn't.
Lesson learned.
And I love how he's giving them shit for how he looks, and I'm like, really? You're the one who walks around with your pentagram tattoo and your stupid bare chest and your stupid handsome face.
Yeah, shut up. And like, it's not their fault that that's how they look. They're monsters.
Yeah. Anyways, we cut to Werewolf and Elsa, and Jack is telling her to wait outside, but Elsa is all, you what, mate? You think I'm some damsel in distress?
Just what?
And Jack says, he basically says, down there, you're just a fresh soul with a sexy accent. So, yeah, this once I'm asking you to wait outside. He says this as he gets naked.
Wait.
Jack says that even with all of her skills and guns, down in hell, she's just a soul with a sexy accent.
And then he gets naked.
And then he says this as he's getting naked. I would just love it if she goes like, why are you getting naked? It helps the werewolf. Can't you just be a werewolf with clothes? Do you know how hot it gets?
She'd be like, wait a second. You're going to tell me I can't go somewhere because of my sexy accent, but you're getting naked at the moment. Sir.
It's a nudist club. It's a nudist hell.
They don't like clothes there.
They don't like clothes there, that's the only reason. Yeah, it's like Terminator, you gotta get naked to time travel. I've time traveled, you don't have to get naked to time travel. Just shut up.
You didn't do it the right way.
This is a thing I gotta do. She then asks, well, what about your soul? And as he wolfs out, Jack says, I'm a werewolf, Elsa. I sold that thing a long time ago. As he opens the door, he says, let's play this smart. And then he waits. He's like, you're standing right behind me and coming whether I like it or not, aren't you? She's like, damn straight.
You know, that's something I would do.
It is something you would do.
Yeah, you tell me, Brooke, you need to stay back. I know what I'm doing. I'll be like, okay, you're coming with me, aren't you? Yep.
That's you, all right. I could see what I feel like you and Elsa would get along.
We would.
Anyway, we cut back to how Mummy and Amphibian are doing, and Hellstorm asks how they're paying him. And Amphibian is like, no one said anything about paying. But Mummy goes, I'm sure we can work out some form of compensation. I have a tomb, I'm rich.
I have gold. It's fine.
And Hellstorm goes, I take cash. Then why did you ask? I take cash. Thanks for not answering that question, dude.
I take cash.
Just a peach. I could see how well your Hulu show's doing with a personality like that.
Nah.
So Mummy asks Hellstorm what they're dealing with. And I love how Hellstorm talks about it like he's a plumber looking at a leak. Like, I just imagine him to pull up his pants and go like, well, it could be a lot of things. I know a couple witches, could be a monster worshiping cult. Now, I wouldn't put anything past dear old dad, but this isn't his style.
It sounds like he's a plumber.
Like I said, he talks about it like a plumber looking at a leak.
Yeah, it sounds like a plumber. Hey, and it's just like, hey, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of like, fix it in and they'll be good.
What you got here is your common demonic possession. What you need here, you gotta get some iron newt. You always need the iron newt. You gotta get some screams of the damned, common thing. If you don't get store-bought, you can make your own.
And you guys have what's it called? A lot of people have in the house now. Upside down cross. No, you don't have an upside down cross. This is gonna be tough.
Anyways, Mummy goes, hey, at least it isn't Satan. And I love Amphibian. He goes, oh yes, thank goodness for small favors. Yes, because if it were Dormammu, that'd be just perfect. Peachy keen. Have a tea party with him, he'll call it off.
Hey, maybe we'll see Deadpool or Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we won't, but... So Hellstorm says, well, no reason we can't ring up whoever's doing this and say hello. And as he, pulls out a magic book, and then out of Hellstorm's magic book comes this inky black thing that looks like a bad wig, and it starts flying around his room. And Hellstorm goes, what the hell is that? And then Mummy goes, aren't you supposed to tell us that? Hellstorm says he was expecting to see a face, so he has no idea what the hell's going on. And then it flies right into Living Mummy's mouth. Hellstorm tries to exorcise it, but it doesn't work. And if the little thing could talk, I guess it would say, not today, son of Satan.
Not today, son of Satan.
And then Mummy is possessed and screams, snack. Oh no, Mummy has the munchies! Give him a Scooby snack!
That's the voice I gave it, just because.
Get him a Scooby snack! Stat!
Stat!
What was the cereal? Gummy Mummy? No.
No. Give him Count Chocula!
No, he's not a vampire. That would only work on Morbius.
What's the mummy one? Blueberry? No, that was the ghost.
The werewolf one? You literally called it the werewolf one. It's not gonna work. Are you Googling the cereal?
Yummy Mummy! It was Yummy Mummy!
Yummy Mummy, that was it.
I was Googling it, ladies and gentlemen. The power of the internet!
Anyways, so we cut back to Werewolf and Elsa, and they are surrounded by demons, but don't worry. Werewolf has a stool!
Da 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 da!
All he needs is a whip, and then he can play Lion Tamer.
Heh.
Da 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 da.
Well, sometimes I gotta beat the ladies off with a stick. Back, woman! Back, I say! Please tell me you got where that's from.
No, which one?
It's from Chowder.
Oh. Anyway, so Werewolf and Elsa, surrounded by demons. Thankfully, this bizarre Doctor Strange villain named Satanish is there to save them because he owes Werewolf a favor. He's not Satan, he's Satan-ish.
Satan-ish. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
But anyway, he owes Werewolf a favor, and Elsa and Werewolf are safe until it's paid. So they sit while Satanish eats a plate of intestines, as you do.
Yeah.
And while they're there, they got this green dude with a bunch of eyes, and hell eyes. He looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like, he looks like the Thousand Eyes idol from Yu-Gi-Oh!
He does.
Anyways, Satanish knows what's going on, but he's not going to tell. Because in addition to being a demon, he's also an asshole.
I mean, demons typically are dicks, so...
Ghost Rider isn't. Mostly.
He's his own type.
Takes all types. And Elsa then says, oh, whole lot of good that favor did you. He won't even let you call it in for a little intel. And Werewolf was all, no, don't! But then Satanish explains the Angel Grove Massacre. On that day, the mighty Zordon recruited teenagers with attitude and turned them into Power Ranger... Oh, wait, wrong universe.
Wait, wrong thing.
So, 400 vampires assaulted the town of Angel Grove, and because they were mindless drones, they didn't retreat when the sun came up. But there were 2 survivors. 1, Dracula, king of the vampires. Yes, Dracula, that Dracula, the real Dracula.
The one that is a vampire and hates the sunlight.
In addition to Dracula being real, by the way, Frankenstein is also real. I just thought I'd add that in.
Well, we're in October, so this is a great thing. Monsters!
Anyway, the other survivor was a certain scientist with vampiric traits, unaffected by the sun.
I wonder who it could be.
It could be a mystery, I don't know.
I don't know. Mystery to me.
Anyways, Elsa says she's going to shoot Morbius in the face when Satanish says that the deal is done, so no reason to keep the demons off their backs, and then they surround them and start yanking out Elsa's soul. Now, if she had a sound soul, it would rest in a sound body.
And a sound mind.
Yes.
But we'll get to that next week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited. Moving on.
Meanwhile, Amphibian is trying to hold the living mummy in Son of Satan's bathroom. And that was a real sentence I just said right now.
Yeah, can confirm you did.
And apparently, Hellstorm had to change into his Son of Satan costume, which is legit. That red cape and no shirt, that was his costume back in the 70s.
That's such a silly costume.
It is, but Morbius is still wearing his 70s costume, so, you know.
I'm surprised I don't see people cosplaying Son of Satan more.
Yeah.
Probably the pentagram on the chest.
Might be. I'm surprised I don't see people cosplaying Morbius more, because he's got basically like an open-cut shirt with a popped collar.
Which all the ladies love nowadays, by the way.
Yeah, just look at my shirt. I mean, not look at my shirt. Look at my chest.
Look at my chest.
Look at my lack of shirt. Female gaze, anyone?
Yes, please.
Ladies go for that chalky white look.
Hey, there wouldn't be a vampire movie franchise if they didn't like that kind of look.
Fair enough. We're just being like, ladies, I heard you like Twilight. I heard you also like Spider-Man. I fought Spider-Man.
I fought Spider-Man, so,
Ladies. So anyway, Son of Satan also got his trident. Pitchfork. And Amphibian asks, you're not going to hit him with that, are you? Mummies are very brittle. I love Amphibian. He's probably my favorite out of them.
He's just trying to take care of everybody.
And Son of Satan then disintegrates the living mummy.
Oh.
And then Amphibian is all like, what did you do? And Son of Satan goes, I did what you wouldn't, and that's all the help I'm given. So take all your monster shit and go. I'm like, okay, have a good time in that Son of Satan book that's not being written.
Damn, you really went there.
I went there.
Damn.
Anyway, back with Elsa and Werewolf, she runs through the portal and flings a grenade back to keep the demons from coming through. But Werewolf is unconscious and in human form, and I think between the demon fight and the explosion, he isn't doing too hot.
No.
So, next issue, and we open up with a flashback with Morbius chatting with Susanna. And the two are trying to treat an outbreak with the same symptoms as the one in the present. And they're actually in the Rock Haven vampire community just south of Angel Grove, California. And it's a whole, like, town of vampires, but they're all, like, pacifists. And they take stuff from alternative blood sources. So I'm guessing, like, cows and stuff.
Yeah, because typically, in vampire media, if they're not going to take it from humans, it's usually cows or like pigs, something like that.
And hopefully they kill the cows properly, or else we'll have another hell cow running around.
Wait, there's an actual hell cow, and
Oh yeah, hell cow is a cow that got its blood sucked out by Dracula and was buried. But the farmer didn't kill it, so then it became a cow with a cape and was like a hell cow, a vampire cow.
I thought you were talking about the little vampire scene. You know that movie? No.
I was talking about hell cow who fought Howard the Duck and Deadpool.
Well then, you learn something new every day. Also, fun fact: The Little Vampire, most underrated film ever for people who have not seen it.
Was that the one with the kid from Stuart Little?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Anyways, they're treating the symptoms, and Morbius is like, I understand what's at stake here. Steak.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what you've built, and I'll fight to my dying breath to preserve it. Back in the present, so while more monsters are fighting outside than at a Pokemon tournament, Morbius is looking through his microscope. And Amphibian is pissed because Mummy is dead, and Morbius doesn't seem fazed. It also doesn't help that Morbius says that Mummy has been dead for 3,000 years before he met Amphibian. And then the two get into a fist fight. Though I guess in Amphibian's case, it's a fish fight.
Fish humor.
Then Elsa hauls back a dying Jack and tells Morbius to fix him. And thankfully, Morbius and Manny get their acts together to save their pal.
Are Jack and Elsa dated a thing?
They're flirting here, and I think there is a comic where for one panel she says that she dated Werewolf by Night, so I'm not sure if this is them meeting for the first time or not, but I think it is. But yeah, either way, we can presume that after this they start dating. But yeah, the two of them are definitely digging on each other.
I mean, they're both hot, so I get it.
Yeah, they're both hot redheads.
They make beautiful redhead kids.
Beautiful, hairy, werewolf stabbing kids.
Perfect.
Anyways, just as Jack is going into cardiac arrest, Elsa points a gun at Morbius's head and asks him to explain himself. And I love how Amphibian is just holding the defibrillators. He's like, guys?
This is not the time! I don't have my medical license for this.
I couldn't exactly go to community college here. They already don't like mutants up there. And I'm not cute like Groot, so... Anyways, Morbius also says that this isn't the time and that Jack is dying. We get the flashback anyways. And Morbius is working on a patient and he's perplexed because the patient was responding well to the treatment, but it's like the virus knows what they're going to do and prevents them from fixing it. So Susanna says they'll do better in the morning. But in the middle of the night, Morbius wakes up, tries to find Susanna, but finds infected vampires shambling around. These vampire zombies. These vampies.
Vampies!
Which, fun fact, there's a Marvel Zombies Morbius, and he goes, I am a zombie! I am a vampire! I am a vampy! Or something.
Is it just like the What If episode? Oh wait, you never mind. You did not see that episode.
Marvel Zombies is actually worse.
Oh!
Because they're aware of what they're doing. And it's like they have an uncontrollable urge to eat people. And it's especially bad for Spider-Man because he's already just guilt walking around in a human body. And then he becomes a zombie and he eats Aunt May and Mary Jane. So Spider-Man is a mess, to say the least.
Yeah.
And also, to make matters worse, in the Marvel Zombies universe, they basically eat everyone. And they're like, well, what do we do? And we're superheroes. There's a whole multiverse of things to eat. And they're like, oh no!
Oh no, oh god.
So they're always trying to break in and eat our world.
Oh geez, yeah, no, that is not like the What If episode. The What If episode, they were not aware that they were zombies.
Oh, yeah. No, it's worse. So, anyways, Morbius is dealing with the vampies, and everything is in flames, and they're massacring Angel Grove. And someone laughs maniacally while they stand on top of a car, so that's a good sign.
Very good sign.
So, back in the present, Elsa storms out, and it's not clear if Morbius told her what he saw or not. I don't think he did. I think that was just for our benefit. So Amphibian and Morbius have some coffee and apologize to each other while Jack is like stabilizing or whatever. And then Dimensional Man pipes up while still being stuck in the pipe and is all like, seriously? After all that? Massacre? Dracula? Elsa putting a gun to your head? And you two are just sitting back having coffee? And he also mentions that Elsa used the Transylvania portal. And I love how he goes, what? Just because I'm quiet, you think I'm not around? So Elsa...
I'm always watching. Always watching.
From stuck in this pipe. takes the gravitas away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Elsa gears up, wooden stakes, crosses, holy water, garlic, and good old-fashioned bullets. And she thinks of what her father would say if he saw her now. Most of what he'd say is kill all monsters. The only good monster is a dead monster. Now be a good girl and go kill everyone in Monster Metropolis. Dear old dad.
Dear old dad.
He makes hologram space dad look good. And to know what we're talking about, watch our Superman Last Son episode.
Which you can find on our YouTube page. Or if you look in the little preview thingy on the side, it might be there. Who knows? Have fun scavenger hunting.
Then Elsa says, but Dad isn't here, and Bloodstones have always been a bit mad. And then we see her at Castle Dracula in Transylvania, and Elsa is going to have a chat with Dracula as she douses herself in holy water. And as the captions point out, Castle Dracula is about to be bloodstoned. Meanwhile, Morbius gives us some more detail about the Angel Grove Massacre and how after the slaughter, the infected shambled home, climbed back into their hospital beds, and even secured their own restraints. And Morbius was about to kill them when Susanna stopped him, and then he says to Amphibian, there's more, but it'll have to wait until I get back. And I just imagine Amphibian going, no, but now I'm emotionally invested in the story. Don't leave me on a cliffhanger.
No, I don't want to wait till next episode.
And Morbius says the only thing worse than all of this is all of this plus Dracula. And we get to see Elsa go to work, just killing an army of vampires, including shooting, stabbing, and because she's covered in holy water, she can hit vampires with her wet hair to kill them. In other words, she whips her hair back and forth.
Oh, you stole my joke. I was about to sing it.
You can still sing it.
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth.
So Elsa meets with Dracula after slaughtering his entire army like a badass. And Drac is all with his white hair and armor phase, which is how he looks in the Avengers Assembled cartoon. So if you want to see Thor fight Dracula, watch that.
Oh, you're in for it, folks.
And Drac then goes, I know I should have stopped you before you killed all of my men, but I do love to see a talented woman work. Please tell me you've come to tussle. And she's all, don't be cheeky. I got a question. And he's all, ask away. And then she goes, what happened in Angel Grove? And Dracula goes, a great many things, I imagine. And I am surprised Elsa doesn't just straight up kill him after that.
I would be like, fuck you.
But I think she doesn't kill him because she needs information. But I imagine her going like, next one I aim lower. Dracula family jewels.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to know about the massacre, and then we get yet another flashback, and you can see Dracula looking all classic, I want to suck your blood, Dracula, with his signature cape.
Blah, 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 blah.
Which is how he looked in the 70s. And Morbius had killed Dracula's servant because the servant had killed Susanna. And then Dracula is just like, guess that makes us even. I kill your woman, you kill my dog. And Morbius asks why, and then Dracula pulls a Scar and goes, because I'm king! A Scar from Lion King, I should say.
I was going to say. which is I kind of figured, but I just wanted to make sure.
And Dracula explains that she got in the way of his plans, and that by this time tomorrow, there won't be any vampires here. Morbius says that it's not their fault, and that he just needs more time to find the cure. And Dracula says, oh, don't worry, I'm sure you'll find the cure soon enough. And then the next morning, Dracula uses a digging machine and pokes a hole in the ground above the vampire town to let the sun shine through, killing all of the vampires in town except for Morbius.
That's a dick move.
Yeah. I should also mention, I don't think Morbius was always immune to sunlight, but apparently at this point he was. Dracula also admits that he knew the cause and never explained it to him. And Elsa asks why he, A, left him alive, and B, didn't tell him what caused it. And suddenly Morbius shows up telling her not to ask Dracula for help and, like, telling her to get away. And I'm just like, dude, she killed everyone to get here. I think she can handle herself.
I think she's a fine lady who could handle all her things.
If anything, I'm worried about Dracula.
Same.
And then Dracula grabs Morbius by the throat, and Dracula explains that the reason he kept it from Morbius was because he pitied him, and that he gave Morbius the gift of ignorance. And I'm like, that's a shitty gift, Drac. Well, I know who I'm not going to have as my Secret Santa, that's for sure.
Yeah, he would be the one who's like, I am your gift this year.
He would. He would. Him and the guy, and Marvel's King of Atlantis, Namor the Submariner, they'd be like, what gift? Your gift is to bask in my presence. I'm like, can't I just exchange it for something else?
Can't I just get like a gift card or something?
Deadpool gave Miles a tank.
I want a tank.
Why didn't I get Deadpool as my Secret Santa? Why didn't I get someone fun?
See, Captain America let Brooke have a date with him. Why can't I get that? I wasn't expecting that, were you?
I should have. I absolutely should have, but I didn't. So anyway, Dracula then reveals that Susanna was actually an ancient vampire witch whose real name is Bruxel. Or Brugel? I don't know how you pronounce it. It's got an X. It's written down. Pretzel. Anyway, not pictured are her evil servants, Ketchup and Mustard.
Also, he did the does Nozo rule and always suspects the wife.
Yeah, you're always great at picking out who the killer is.
I am, because I watch too many crime shows, and also I'm very intuitive to know who is the killer. And as soon as like it started to hint around her, I was like, I don't like her. She's gonna do something stupid, and I was right. She apparently cultivated the virus from torturing succubae in hell, but when she tried to use the virus to create a mindless army, it killed the subjects too fast. So she recruited Morbius and used his expertise to perfect the virus. Plot twist.
Yeah, and she suckered him because, like, oh, she's a hot lady who's not terrified from just looking at me. That's a plus.
Pretty lady will do anything for pretty lady.
I'm pretty much. Dracula then says, if I hadn't killed her, she would have killed you and fed you to her puppets. Now, both of you, kids, get off my lawn, get out of my castle. And as they leave, Elsa is confused because if Susanna is dead, where did the virus come from? How could a contagious virus survive undetected for 3 decades and pop up back in Monster Metropolis? Oh, I also didn't mention this because it doesn't make sense timeline-wise, but they actually do straight up say that the massacre happened in the 70s, which is awkward because of Marvel's sliding time scale. Because Marvel is on Simpsons time.
Yeah. Where Maggie and any baby is a baby for years.
Actually, with Marvel, it's not that they're perma-babies, it's just that they age slower.
It takes 50 years!
Pretty much. Anyway, as Elsa asks where the virus, how a contagious virus can survive undetected for 3 decades and then pop up in Monster Metropolis out of nowhere, Morbius remembers something. He remembers that he was doing dental work on the monster that fought Elsa at the beginning of the book, and how that monster bit Morbius. And Morbius washes his hands in the sink and goes, "You know, it's funny, after all these years as a vampire, that's the first time I've ever been bitten."
You know, I brought it up before when I said that would be a very high dental plan.
Yep.
And look what happened.
So Elsa and Morbius are back in Monster Metropolis, and Morbius tells her about how that monster bit him. And she's all, "How could you forget that?" And Morbius is all, "I'm the primary caregiver to all manner of creepy crawlies. Getting bitten during a dental exam wasn't the weirdest thing to happen to me." And Elsa asks, Morbius, if you have the virus, why aren't you all, a drooling monster with black slime for brains? Because he's not really a vampire, some part of him is still human, and he is immune. But it makes him a carrier. So the infected start smashing down the walls, and Morbius activates the force field, because of course he's got a force field.
As one does.
And then he explains that the infected are so belligerent because no one's in control, and they can't keep them contained much longer, and that there's only one solution. So while he goes to do that, Amphibian got infected off panel and attacks Elsa. And I love Elsa's dialogue. She's all, "Manny, I like you. I know you're not yourself, but if any part of that mouth touches me, I will cut it off and wear it as a hat." And then minutes later, she hauls Manny's body and straps him down next to Jack. And she takes the syringe out, saying how some horse tranquilizers would be more preferable than her heel through his eye socket. And then Jack wakes up. And after Elsa brings him up to speed, Morbius walks by and asks if she can get Jack ready to travel. And Jack's all, "Oh, I knew you'd pull through. What last-minute heroics you got up your sleeve now that you know the cause?" And then Morbius is all, "Bomb." Wait, what? Morbius explains that he doesn't know how to cure anyone, and even if he did, there isn't any time. But what he does have the time to do is build a bomb, blow the portals, and vaporize the virus before they can escape and slaughter humanity. Jack points out he'd be killing hundreds of thousands of monsters. Morbius says that there's no saving them and that the entire city is infected. They're already dead.
He's basically pulling a mulligan and just getting rid of everything.
Yep. Burn it all down, start over, make a new Monster Metropolis with blackjack and hookers.
Sign me up for that one, fam.
Monster Metropolis Vegas.
What happens in Monster Metropolis stays in Monster Metropolis.
Yep. Anyway, Jack starts to wolf out, and because he's exposed, he's just as mindless as the rest of the infected. And Elsa and Morbius fight Werewolf. She asks what's wrong with him, and Morbius says that humans aren't affected by the virus, and he would have been safe unless the idiot changed. Elsa asks what they can do, and Morbius says nothing. He's dead. They're all dead. There's nothing left to do but bury them. Then Dimensional Man asks to be left out of the pipe, and Elsa realizes that because he can leech off life, he can leech the virus off of the other monsters. So she lets him out, and he starts absorbing Amphibian, Werewolf, and Morbius, but then he starts growing. And Morbius says it's because he's leeching off the virus's power, causing him to grow. Morbius then tells Dimensional Man to let him go, and surprisingly he does. And they apparently do a quick blood check. Their words, not mine. And Amphibian and Werewolf are all, and I guess Morbius, are all cured entirely. Then they realize Dimensional Man oozed into the quarantine room and starts sucking the virus out of the other infected. And Elsa's all, "That's good, right? He'll cure them all?" And Morbius is all, "No, that's bad, because then he'll keep growing, and we're running out of ceiling. If the security holds, they'll all be crushed to death. If it doesn't, then, well, God help us all." So now, it's the Blob. So Dimensional Man has basically become the Blob.
Where he grows and eats shit.
Yeah, and it's like Power Rangers, make my monster grow. So now, Dimensional Man is about to expand so much that he'll devour Manhattan. And I know some people that would probably be upset with that. Namely, everyone in Manhattan. So Elsa, Werewolf, and Manny are going to try and stop it. But it took them 6 weeks to catch Dimensional Man before he became a kaiju. Morbius is going to finish off his bomb. Amphibian points out, our people are being cured. You can't seriously mean to kill everyone. And Werewolf is all, but we're the Super Friends! Oh wait, I mean Legion of Monsters!
Yeah, totally different things.
Morbius says to ask Elsa the best way to deal with monsters. Elsa says she only sees one monster here, and that she and the boys are going to go be something better. Morbius then promises to detonate the bomb the moment after they fail. So they shoot rocket launchers at it, and Amphibians isn't working, and then Dimensional Blob grabs him. Elsa tries shooting a Gatling gun, and Werewolf decides to just claw at it. You could see he's the master tactician of the Legion of Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Morbius is watching and says, that's not going to work. Jack, if you get that close, what's going to stop it from growing a third arm and slamming you into the nearest? And before he could finish that sentence, it does that and slams him into a brick wall. And then Morbius finishes his sentence and says, brick wall. Elsa then grabs what was labeled a photon protoplasmic destabilizer and says how she's a simple girl. She likes bullets and bombs. She doesn't know what this thing does, but perhaps a monster menace requires a monster weapon. Monster problems require monster solutions.
Hell yeah.
She then leaps at it and screams, "Eat mad science," before she is swatted away like a fly. Elsa is then at ground level with the Dimensional Blob, and she's acting all cocky, but then she realizes her weapon is busted. Morbius then yells stop, and that he goes into a whole speech, and he basically says he can blow up everything with the push of a button and sacrifice all of the innocents he's sworn to protect. And he would, but he doesn't need to do that. Sit, virus! Down, boy! And then Dimensional Blob obeys. Turns out, not only was Morbius the carrier, but he was the ignorant puppet master behind all of this. The infected weren't mindless. They were responding to Morbius's unconscious or subconscious fears.
My worst nightmare.
Yeah. It's why most of them didn't leave. They just smashed up Monster Metropolis. Elsa asked how he figured it out, and Morbius says he realized when Dimensional Blob let him go, and how Morbius may have told it how to defeat Jack. So we cut to 3 weeks later, and Jack and Elsa are still cleaning up the mess. And Jack explains that it's time for Elsa to go. And Elsa goes, "I'm sorry, I'm helping you rebuild your city, and you're giving me a problem over how long it's taking?" And Jack says, "Leaving's gonna suck no matter how long, no matter when you go, and putting it off won't change that you don't belong here." And I'm just like, who says?
No one.
I mean, I get that it's a monster city, but like, she helped save everyone. She could hang out. She could stay. And plus, you guys obviously want to date, so why not?
Like, why are you pushing her away, sir?
Yeah.
You have some problems?
Yeah. Elsa says it's not like she's planning on moving in. And then Jack explains how Morbius told him that down in Australia, there's some 90-foot blood serpent killing surfers who could use a second-generation monster hunter. And I'm also like, 90-foot blood serpent? And it's from Australia, you say? Are you sure it's just not local wildlife?
Are you sure it's not what is usually in Australia to begin with?
Also, keep that thing the hell away from me.
Bro, same. No, thank you.
Elsa, do us all a favor and go kill it.
Please!
So anyway, she walks away, and then Jack just looks sad all alone.
Like me, I feel that.
So Elsa goes to say goodbye to Morbius and Amphibian, and I love it because they're arguing about how best to bring back Living Mummy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Amphibian basically goes, "Elsa, will you tell this person that I am perfectly capable of following instructions without him looking over my shoulder?" And then Morbius is like, "Oh yeah, well, if that were true, your little miscalculation wouldn't set back Living Mummy's regeneration by 3 weeks."
Yikes.
I just love how passive-aggressive they are with each other.
It's like they're a married couple.
It is. It is so much like that. And they're both the scientist type, so it's like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks.
Also, Dimensional Blob is contained in a big tube in the back, so he's taken care of.
He's got it.
And they already got a physical body for Living Mummy, so that's a start.
There it is.
Elsa says goodbye to Manny because she's dangerously close to killing their werewolf. And Manny says that he feels the same way about Morbius right about now.
They had a moment. They're like, yeah, let's go kill our spouses together.
pretty much. She also says goodbye to Mummy. Morbius thanks her and gives her a hearty handshake, and Elsa interrupts him and tells him to saw it off. And so Elsa leaves, and all the citizens of Monster Metropolis wave goodbye. And Jack is there, and he narrates at her. And then she asks, "Silver bullets, right? That's what it'll take to shut you up?" And he says that since they aren't working together anymore, he might call her up sometime. And she says, "You know I've seen you pink and naked, right?" And then he goes, "Figured that'd be a selling point." And then she goes, "Oh, shut your gob and walk me out." And thus endeth the saga of the Legion of Monsters and Elsa Bloodstone. For now.
For now.
So, while Morbius is getting his own movie from Sony, I am almost positive that we're going to see Werewolf by Night show up in Moon Knight's Disney Plus show. Because, as I said before, we wouldn't have Moon Knight without Werewolf. And if Elsa isn't going to appear in Moon Knight's show, they're going to be doing stuff with her. Marvel is doing the smart thing and hyping Elsa, and I've heard she also got her own book recently, so keep your eye out for that. Might be good, might be bad, don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why they wouldn't use her right now.
I'm also surprised because, like, I'm more surprised that she hasn't gotten her own book before recently, because she's friggin' awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's just how many people actually know who she is, so it's that whole they gotta go where the money's going.
And I mean, they keep trying to make the New Warriors work, so
true.
The New Warriors are supposed to be Marvel's Teen Titans, but the champions are Marvel's Teen Titans.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what'd you think of Elsa Bloodstone and the rest of the Legion?
Okay, so I honestly would be best friends with Elsa Bloodstone because me and her have the same mentality. So I loved her from the start. Punch first, ask questions later.
And at the end of this book, you see only kill the bad monsters.
Exactly, which is perfect. And the Legion of Monsters, they have a good thing. They have their own city, and I'm glad that it didn't get blown up because if it did, I would have been really upset because I'm a big advocate for if they're not hurting anybody and they're just trying to live, why can't we leave them alone?
That's pretty much what their whole Monster City is all about most of the time. Unless it's taken over by an asshole, which sometimes happens.
Yeah.
I think Dracula ruled it for a while.
Of course he did. But yeah, no, in all honesty, I'm so glad it didn't get blown up. One, because I'm no, that's a typical thing that will happen. And then it's oh, we gotta rebuild the city, blah, blah, blah.
Or it's more no one likes these guys. Kill them off.
Exactly. Also, I like how this was a quicker read than most comics that we've read so far.
Oh yeah, I love these because this wasn't your standard comic where it was going on for a while. It was no, this has 4 parts. It's a limited series.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what Marvel character has a lot of limited series?
Gwenpool.
Actually, Deadpool. Close.
Oh, okay. I was almost there.
But yeah, so expect to see some of those in the future, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps, maybe.
But if you would like this book, we shall make it available in the description below. And please support your local libraries and your local comic book stores, because without them, we would be unable to do this show. Also, we have a Twitter, so please follow us on Twitter. Link in the description.
Yeah, fun things are going to happen on Twitter, so make sure you check it out. Also, please subscribe to this channel if you want to hear more from us. Next week is going to be a fun episode because, surprise everybody, it's a me episode. I'm going to be talking the most this time.
I get a break!
So, next week, we'll be going overseas to Japan to talk about Soul Eater, the manga. And I'm so excited. My Alexa wanted to talk to me. And
I got so excited to talk about Soul Eater. Alexa
So be on the lookout because we'll be talking about Soul Eater and talking about a little bit of history of the manga, just so we are having all fun times. So yeah, We will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.